Okay, we're gonna find a child's pose. So extend your arms forward, reaching that foam roller to the very end of your mat. Let your pelvis sink between your thighs and your forehead touch the mat. Take an inhale. Really feel the back ribs and the sides of the waist lengthen here. Exhale out your mouth, soften, let it go. One more inhale, really expand your back ribs, side ribs. And a nice long exhale, let it all go. On your next breath in, let the belly expand. Exhale, I want you to feel your belly pull in towards your back and start to feel your frontal ribs knit together. Let that go. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, belly draws to the back, frontal ribs knit. Good, keeping that. Extend your arms so forward, the shoulders shrug to the earlobe. And then exhale, melt the shoulders down, foam roller comes towards you. So you shrug the shoulder blades up towards the earlobe. Exhale, soften them gently down your back. Give me 4 more. Just finding that mobility here in your shoulder girdles for 3. Good, reach those fingertips to the wall in front of you for 2. And 1. Melt the shoulders, pull the belly in and round all the way on up to a tall seat. Spin yourselves around, extend your legs long out in front of you, about as wide as your mat. And then you guys send that foam roller right at the tips of the shoulder blades. Interlace your hands behind the head, being nice and supportive for that neck. And then take a deep breath in here. Allow your head, your skull to weight heavy into the hands. And just let your head fall back into space. Inhale, big opening here through the frontal body. Exhale, just allow your frontal ribs again to settle a little heavier into the foam roller behind you. 1 more, inhale here. Exhale again, the frontal ribs knit and your belly starts to pull towards your spine. Good, take another 1 more breath here. On your exhale, heavy the ribs, press the back ribs into the foam roller, just curl their head, heart, and shoulders blades up. And then lengthen the head back on the inhale towards the wall behind you. Keep curling. So we're getting nice deep flexion through the thoracic spine here. Good. Give me about 4 more. So nothing's happening from the belly button down. Just a nice deep flexion through the upper back. Last 3, 2. The next time you lift, you're gonna hold a lift and pause. Bend your knees so your feet are flat on the mat, about hip distance apart. You're gonna hover your seat a few inches off the ground, and then from there, just start to shift the weight forward towards the balls of the feet, and then weight back towards the heels. So we're just, again, rolling out through that upper back. Really grounding down into those feet to feel that traction here, a little engagement of those hamstrings. And you may want to lean head over to the right and get towards the right side of the spine, and maybe head over to the center and check out the left. Just try to keep those hips nice and square. And then once you find your way through center, pause at the tips of the shoulder blades, sit your hips down, and let your head fall back. Good. Extend your legs long. Good. And on your exhale, curl all the way on up to seated. We're gonna find our right hip. And you're gonna drape your body over the foam roller so that foam roller's right in between that right armpit. Good, and shoulder. Just comfortably stacked hips and shoulders, hands interlaced behind that head again. 1 long line from your head to your tail. Take a deep breath in. Again, let your head weight heavy into the hands and start to lift your gaze, chest, heart, up towards the ceiling here. And as you exhale, start to drop that left elbow down towards the floor, rounding through your spine. Again, you're going to inhale and veil. Crown the head is lengthening in opposition, lengthening away from those knees. And then exhale, round. I want you to keep going for the next 3, maybe lingering somewhere where it feels nice or sticky. And allow your shoulders to soften, your neck to be easy. Hands are supporting that head for you. 1 more here. Once you find center, you're gonna crop up to that right forearm. You're gonna lift those hips up and place the foam roller right at the top of that hip. Right leg extended long, left foot is supporting you, stepping right in front of that leg. And then you're just gonna start to shift the weight up and down. So we're still lengthening through the crown of that head. We're not sinking in our right shoulder, so feeling lift the right side of the waist. And starting at the top of the hip, you'll eventually make your way down, so lift the hips and get towards that IT bend, and you'll know when you hit it. Good. And left hand's on that hip to assure that it's stacked right on top of your right hip. So you may want to lean a little more into your right forearm and roll that left hip forward a little more so you really get in to that IT bend. And always breathe. So breath, I didn't say this earlier, is very important through these exercises. 3, 2, and 1. You're gonna come up to seated. You're gonna sit on top of that foam roller. You're gonna take that right leg, flex it. It's that figure 4 stretch. Sit into that right side. This is your piriformis, and we're gonna roll onto that right hip. So onto some flesh. Stay away from the bony hip. And just up and down through that glute med. Collarbones open. You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. We're gonna do this all on the other side. I'm gonna split my thumb roller to this side. I'm gonna slide down onto my left hip and repeat the same thing. Hands interlaced, heels, sits bones, and crown the head in one plane. Inhaling, my head falls heavy, I'm looking up. And then exhaling, rounding my spine. Try to get that right elbow to the floor. Inhale, you unravel, opening up here. Feel those intercostal muscles open. And then exhale. So again, no movement happening from the belly button down, just that thoracic rotation here. Last 3. 2. Loosening up those lymph nodes. Should be feeling one side a little more sore than the other. Last one. Good, and then make your way up to that left forearm. Lift your hips, place that foam roller right at the top of that trochanter. Step your right foot forward, right hand on that hip. And again, just getting some looseness to the top of the hip. And then eventually you'll make your way. Really step into your right foot, take that foam roller down to that IT bend. And run it up and down, avoiding your knee. Good. Ensuring your right hip is stacked right on top of your left. A few more here. You can always pause this video and continue to give your IT bend a little more love. 2 and 1. You're gonna come up to seated again. Figure 4 here with the left leg flexed. Lean into that piriformis. You'll know it, you'll feel it. You're in the right spot. And just go forward and back. Again, the collarbones open. Arms are just back. Good. 3, 2, and 1. You're gonna face, come to hands and knees. You're gonna take that foam roller right above the kneecaps. 10 toes are tucked under. You're on your forearms. Again, we're not spilling through the belly. Core is engaged. You're gonna lift your 10 toes and you're gonna start to shift the weight forward and back. Getting into those quads. And again, breathing through this. Play around with maybe flexing your feet, pointing them, turning your legs in so your big toes touch. Good, or turning out where your toes point to the corners of the mat, getting a little more into those inner thighs. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then drop your knees. Good. We're all gonna come to a tall seat. Just take that foam roller right at the center of those calves. Relax 10 toes, and you're just gonna gradually take your tail back and just take a nice little seat into a chair here. So for those Achilles and calves from maybe your runs that we've been taking, you can shift the weight forward to feel a little less pressure here, and then just play around
with where you place the foam roller. And we'll just finish here with a few breaths. Maybe every exhale you sink your pelvis a little heavier into that foam roller. Good, last two. And one. And take that foam roller on out.